Hello students, welcome back to Turning Point classes. In today's session, I discuss simplified physics. In my previous discussion, I discussed Gauss's law and one of its applications. If you have not watched the video, link is provided. Go to that video and also view cassette videos that will be helpful both for your cassette as well as second view. Coming back to the next application of Gauss's law, electric field due to a uniformly charged infinite plane sheet. Here we are given a thin plane sheet of infinite area which is charge 1. To find the electric field due to this charged infinite plane sheet, we have taken a cylindrical Gaussian surface. That means we take one cylinder, pass this cylinder through this sheet such that the cylindrical cross-sectional faces, this is one face, this is another face. These two faces are equidistant from the plane sheet. This is shown, which is shown in the diagram. Now this cross-sectional face, I take it as a first face. This one is a second face. Since these two faces are equidistant from the plane sheet, the electric field will be identical. See, here we have taken point P1. Here I have taken point P2. Both are of course same distance r. This is the Gaussian surface that is represented. E is electric field. So in the direction of electric field, I have taken normal vector, unit normal vector in the direction of electric field. N cap is represented, which is a unit normal vector n cap in the direction of electric field. It is a 3-mark question. It might have appeared only once in previous papers. Let me take symbols, explanation of the symbols. Come to this point. Sigma is surface density of charge on plane sheet. Surface density of charge, sigma is equal to charge by area, familiar to us. A is this A, cross-sectional area of a Gaussian surface. This area, so this cross-sectional area of Gaussian surface is A. That is nothing but cylinder. Cross-sectional area of a cylinder. So E is electric field at point P1. That is also equal to electric field at point P2. What is the total flux through this Gaussian surface? Total flux is flux through this phase 1 plus flux through phase 2. Flux is given by E dot A, that is equal to A cos theta. Since theta is equal to 0, because the normal and direction of electric field, normal to the surface and the direction of electric field, both are in the same direction, theta is equal to 0, cos theta is equal to cos 0, that is equal to 1. So therefore, flux phi is equal to Ea only. So here I have put Ea, flux through this phase, plus flux through other phase is also Ea. So if we add, you get 2Ea, name it as equation 1. By Gauss's law, phi is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times q. So q is nothing but charge enclosed within this Gaussian surface. So whatever the charge that is enclosed within the Gaussian surface is only in this part of the plane sheet. Phi is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times q is replaced by using this equation. Surface density of charge, sigma is equal to charge by area. Charge is equal to sigma into A. So A is nothing but area of cross section of Gaussian surface, that is nothing but cylindrical Gaussian surface. If I replace q by sigma A, I got this equation 2. So if we equate the right hand sides of 1 and 2, since left hand sides are equal, we get 2Ea is equal to sigma A by epsilon naught. Cancel A, then we get E is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught. That is a formula which you should remember, because that will be used in our next discussion, which comes in chapter 2. In vector notation, vector E is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught, that is as it is, one extra vector, unit vector n cap. That's all. Coming back to the next important derivation, electric field due to a uniformly charged thin spherical shell. This also has appeared in, this topic has appeared in some of the previous question papers. Out of 3 applications, the first one what we discussed, So electric field near an infinitely long charged thin wire. That is very, very important. Next important is this one out of 3. So electric field due to a uniformly charged thin spherical shell. So thin spherical shell is nothing but hollow spherical surface, hollow sphere. So we have taken one hollow sphere that is inside empty, nothing is there. It is charged. So charge on the sphere is say Q. Q is the charge on spherical surface or spherical shell. So its radius is R. R is the radius of a spherical shell. We define the surface density of charge sigma, charge by area, charge Q divided by area of the spherical surface. So this spherical surface is 4 pi r square. Now you take a point outside the shell and find out what is the electric field. Say P is a point at which we are interested to find electric field. What we do? Construct Gaussian surface which is spherical in shape, and this Gaussian surface is symmetrical to given spherical shell. Point P is at a distance r from the center of the shell. That means r is the radius of spherical shell. Small r is the radius of spherical shell. That is Gaussian spherical surface. R is radius of Gaussian surface. So this Gaussian surface has got radius r. Now find out what is the flux through Gaussian surface. So flux through Gaussian surface phi is equal to this formula E dot A, that is Ea cos theta. Since theta is equal to 0, the direction of electric field is always normal to surface of a conductor. So the direction of electric field is this way. Even the normal drawn is also in the same direction. The angle between them is simply equal to 0. Cos theta becomes cos 0, that is equal to 1. So therefore flux phi is equal to Ea. This is written. Phi is equal to E. A is nothing but area of this Gaussian spherical surface. So, surface area of a sphere is known to us 4 pi r square. Phi is equal to E. A is nothing but area of spherical surface, that is 4 pi r square. So r is the radius of Gaussian surface. This I name it as equation 1. By Gauss's law, flux phi is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times charge enclosed within the Gaussian surface. So 1 by epsilon naught times Q. Q I have replaced it by 4 pi r square sigma. So the Q, whatever is present, charge that is present inside the Gaussian surface is the charge on the spherical shell. That charge is replaced by 4 pi r square sigma. Here 4 pi r square sigma, named as equation 2. Since left hand sides are equal, equate right hand sides. E into 4 pi r square, small r square, is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times 4 pi capital R square sigma. 4 pi cancel. E is equal to this sigma is there, right hand side, epsilon naught is also there, sigma by epsilon naught is retained, sigma by epsilon naught r square by small r square. So this is the general equation. And vector notation. In vector notation, if you read this equation, E has taken vector E, sigma by epsilon naught r square by r square. When n cap is written, n cap is the unit vector in the direction of electric field. So that is n cap. I take point inside the shell, that is case 2. When point is taken inside the shell, so if you draw one Gaussian surface inside, the flux through the surface is simply equal to 0 because flux phi is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times charge enclosed within the surface. So charge enclosed within the surface is simply equal to 0. Any charge given to a spherical shell appears only on the outer surface. No charge inside the shell. Therefore, electric field at any point inside a spherical shell is simply equal to 0. So this much is enough from the point of examination. So we have one last point which you are supposed to remember for 1 mark or 2 mark question. That also I will complete it now. The last topic what we have in this chapter is torque on electric dipole. Of course, in the examination, they ask you only to write the expression for torque on an electric dipole placed in uniform electric field. So derivation is not required. So if you remember this formula, that is enough. I have given the vector form also. So torque tau is equal to P cross E. So vector P cross vector E. So torque on an electric dipole placed in uniform electric field. So in vector notation, this is the way we write it. So without vector notation, tau is equal to P sin theta. Simple 1 mark question. If it is asked for 2 marks, of course it has appeared several times in previous question papers. So you better remember this point. This is also an important question. Write the expression for torque on an electric dipole. This expression you have to write. If it is given for 2 marks, explain the symbols also. Tau stands for torque. So tau is torque. P dipole moment. E is electric field. So tau stands for torque. This torque is maximum when theta is equal to 90 degree. Of course, theta is the angle between vector E and vector P. So all these symbols are being explained. So of course, torque meaning is so if you are given a negative charge and positive charge separated by a short distance, that we named as electric dipole. When you place such a dipole in external electric field, it experiences forces as shown in the figure. So negative charge, there is a force F is equal to QE in a direction opposite to electric field. So in the direction of electric field, F is equal to QE. So if you rotate this dipole through an angle theta from the direction of electric field, then if you release this, the dipole tends to come back to original direction. So that rotating force, put it as a rotating force, we call it as torque, which you learned in first year PUC. So how to calculate that? That is nothing but one of the forces, these two are the equal and opposite forces, times perpendicular distance. If you find the perpendicular distance between these two, if you find out the product of one of the forces into perpendicular distance between them, then we will come across this equation, tau is equal to P sin theta. So much is not required. As per our exam point, this equation along with the explanation of symbols are enough. So tau is maximum just as given when theta is equal to 90. Sin 90 is 1, tau becomes the maximum. This much is enough. I end today's session. If you are not subscribed to Turning Point classes, subscribe to Turning Point classes. Share the link with your friends and like the video. We'll come back to next class with the new chapter. God bless you.